Okay, so boom! The scene starts off with this man Orochimaru violently coughing his lungs out like he got the Rona. As disgusting and worrisome as those coughs sound, Orochimaru is not even stressed because his new vessel is finally ready. That man has been plotting on Sasuke's body since the Chunin exam, but he's seen them scarlet red Sharingan eyes and was locked in ever since. Him and his favorite bootlicker Kabuto are reminiscing on the old times when they gave Sasuke his curse mark, but per usual, Kabuto takes the glazing too far. Oh Lord Orochimaru, you truly are the best. There's no one greater, there's no one handsomer, there's no one more hardworking as you. Sasuke should be honored to give his body to you. I'd give it in a heartbeat. See, there you go doing too much. Oh, shut up and take my cup. Yes, sorry. After a little more reminiscing, Orochimaru starts having another coughing fit, except this time he starts coughing up blood. So Kabuto tells him that this is urgent and he's gonna go get him some level 10 medicine. But while he's exiting the room, Orochimaru's cough somehow turns into a laugh. Now, it was a bit weird, but I didn't really think anything of it. But this man Kabuto somehow found a way to use this as an opportunity to give Orochimaru more praise. He talking about that thirst for blood.
He endures through sheer strength of will. That's why I'll never leave your side, Lord Orochimaru.
Brother, take it out of your mouth. We are barely a minute into the video and this is your second time getting on your knees. Relax. We then cut to Sasuke and that boy is in his chambers fantasizing and practicing for the day that him and Itachi meet. This man hits this violent Chidori stream that destroys all the targets. Then he slices this imaginary Itachi in half. That boy is not playing around. He then opens the door, but before we can see him step out, the camera cuts back to Orochimaru, who's still laughing manically. But as his laugh inevitably turns into a cough, out of nowhere, a lightning blade shoots through the door. Orochimaru's sick self somehow manages to get his hands up in time to block the blow. Then this Nimrod proceeds to ask who is it, as if the lightning blade didn't spell it out enough. That is when a bunch of slices hit the door, and it eventually comes crumbling down. And now we see Sasuke posted up with the straightest face at the doorway. To my surprise, Orochimaru doesn't even have an ounce of shock on his face. Instead, he says, "Of course it's you. I knew you'd come for me." Now, I don't know if he was trying to gain some cool points with that little line, but this just made him look dumb. If you knew he'd come for you, why do you have this man living a couple rooms down like y'all are besties? You should have had that nigga tied up like Tai Lung once you felt like he was strong enough for you to take over. Now, Sasuke's telling Orochimaru that there's nothing he can teach him anymore, so he has no need for him. He then walks towards him and drives the lightning blade through his wrist. So Orochimaru redirects the blade to hit the wall. Sasuke then starts talking more junk, telling him that he's stronger than him now and it doesn't make sense to just hand over his body. But instead of pleading for him to listen to reason, this man further aggravates Sasuke by saying, "A bold statement from a nursling Uchiha." Now Orochimaru might have cooked with that one if he wasn't saying this while literally being on his deathbed. You are in no position to be talking this confidently. You don't even have to be that strong to beat this man right now. Shit, Sakura could maybe even pack him up in this state. Heavy on the maybe though, because she never fails to disappoint me. Sasuke then starts cooking the hell out of Orochimaru, basically telling him that he knew his plans all along. He knew he wanted a Sharingan, but he was no match for Itachi, so he prayed on the baby Uchiha to get it. But that was just surface level, because then he really started to go ham. This man called him another run-of-the-mill ninja, said that he is not even close to a genius, said that his IQ is ordinary at best, but none of that was even close to the worst part. This nigga goes on to call him a miserable wretch, and calls him disgusting for hopping from body to body like a parasite. When I tell you I started crying tears of joy from this roast, I've never rooted for this man Sasuke so hard in my life. It's like he took the words right out of my mouth. He is a miserable wretch. It is disgusting how he jumps from body to body. It is suspicious how he can deep throw long ass swords with ease. He never said that last part, but still. And after saying all that, to put the cherry on top, he says, "You disgust me." Then he charges at him while raising his sword. Before he could complete my greatest dream of seeing Orochimaru deceased, Orochimaru opens his mouth and something comes flying out. Sasuke quickly turns around to see what it is, and that is when we see this ungodly creature staring into his soul. What the fuck is that? At what point do we draw the line? Because there's no amount of money or power in the world that could convince me to live like this. You were already ugly before, but now, Lord have mercy. Like, this nigga just makes my skin itch. He's not even human. Kabuto, this is your goat? Orochimaru then charges at Sasuke, but he jumps out the way. He sends some of his white snakes at him, but Sasuke slices them up with zero difficulty. He then flips back to the doorway, but not to run. Instead, he continues to slice and dice these snakes like his life It depends on it, which it does. But then all of a sudden, this man hops back and puts his sword away. And if that wasn't confusing enough, he starts to take off his robe. Now if you're like me, and your first assumption was that he was gonna get butt booty naked and try and seduce Orochimaru, then I'm sorry to break it to you, but we are both wrong. Instead, Sasuke lets the snakes wrap around him while going into his curse mark form. The snakes eventually cover him all over, but he quickly bursts out of their grasp by pushing out his horrifying wings. The snakes try and get a hold of him again, but he dodges their first attempt, jumps off the wall, then boots up a lightning blade. Another group of snakes rush towards him, but he jumps out the way, then slices their heads off. Orochimaru's had enough of Sasuke hopping around, so he charges at Sasuke himself to swallow him whole. But that boy Sasuke uses his lightning blade to chop him into pieces. Sasuke then retracts his curse mark form and begins to let his guard down. But just when he thought it was over, he drops to his knees and begins to tremble. And that is when we see this man Orochimaru rise up as if his head isn't separated from his body and then eat Sasuke. It turns out the bodily serpent fluids that evaporated in the air had a numbing effect, which was why Sasuke could barely move. But this doesn't explain why Orochimaru is moving so freely. You were just chopped up into pieces. How, Sway? After swallowing Sasuke, he then asks Orochimaru where they are, and this man says, "This is the universe inside of me." The universe inside you? What do you mean by that? Nah, this is a freaky ass nigga. He says stuff like this on purpose. Orochimaru then appears out the ground and lets him know that this is where the transference ritual will take place. Then these pink tentacle looking things begin to engulf Sasuke while also putting all of Orochimaru's other vessels on display. Now at this point, I'm clutching my Bible so hard that my fingers are piercing the pages. I didn't even know what was about to happen next, but I knew with Orochimaru on the screen, I should prepare for the worst. But luckily for me, the cameras cut back to Kabuto preparing Orochimaru's medicine. Hey, wait, hold on. You're telling me Orochimaru's been fighting for his life for 10 minutes now and you're still not done preparing his medicine? Yeah, I'd hate to have this man as my nurse. Over there taking his sweet time. You mean to tell me Orochimaru's yelling Sasuke's name at the top of his lungs and you didn't hear not a thing? Yeah, As Kabuto continues to stroll back to Orochimaru, he notices that the door is completely blown off, so he rushes to take a look. And that is when we see this man Sasuke chilling untouched while Orochimaru's snake body lays lifeless. Sasuke immediately senses Kabuto's presence, so he calls him out and he quickly stands up. After calling him out, he doesn't pay him any mind though. He just walks straight past him like he's a ghost. So Kabuto stops him and asks, "Exactly which one are you?" And that's when this man Sasuke hits the creepiest slow turn known to man and says, "You tell me, Kabuto." Then he uses his sharingan to give him a replay of what happened. As Orochimaru attempts to merge with Sasuke, his curse mark begins to spread and then it turns black. The once pink tissue looking tentacles are now black with fangs, and without hesitation they strike and bite Orochimaru in his neck. And that's when Sasuke says,
Try all the jutsu you wish, but my eyes. Surely you must know already.
It's then revealed that Sasuke's will alone was strong enough to erode Orochimaru's universe. But I am not gonna lie to you, this explanation felt like a half-ass cop-out sort of answer. But hey, as long as it meant that I'd never have to see this heathen again, the explanation did not matter. Sasuke then hits him with that Uno reverse card and the now black tentacles begin to absorb Orochimaru, rendering him as nothing but a piece of Sasuke. Kabuto, now in complete ruin that his beloved Orochimaru is no more, just stands there completely frozen. So Sasuke stares him down for a bit, then walks away. But then he turns back around and decks him in the face for being the most annoying glazer of the century. God! Nah, I'm playing. He didn't actually do that. He just walked away in triumph, ready to put together Team Taka. Overall, a spine-shivering battle. I'm not gonna hold you. They kinda did Orochimaru dirty by packing him up in one episode. Love him or hate him, he was a respected villain, and I thought he should have went out with a little bit more of a bang. But you know what it is. I'll politely give the fight a 6.5 out of 10. As for performance ratings, I'll give Sasuke a 9. I did feel the aura oozing through the screen. But as for Kabuto, he gets a record-breaking 0 for taking so long to get the medicine and for riding Orochimaru's meat with no license.
I don't really wanna know. Shorty telling me her name. I don't really wanna know. Had to wake up, go to work. I ain't really wanna go. God be with me on my side. He be with me on the low.